You are listening to Food for Worms, the original true crime podcast.
Food for Worms.
Disney. I want that Disney strain for real. Can I get some Daffy Duck? Is that Disney?
Yeah,
Or-
Yeah.
or- yeah.
Yep, Daffy.
Donald Duck, right?
Donald Duck is Disney. Daffy Duck is Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always confuse the two as well. I do.
I
feel
mean,
like that-
is it weird that they both have fucking ducks?
I think,
And that they both start with D, so it's just twice as confusing.
They don't both have mice, but they both got ducks.
Yeah.
Dogs, I get because we want to see a dog on the screen because
Mhm.
it makes it, we relate because we're dogs. But
yeah.
ducks,
Well, and there's the whole argument of like, is Goofy a dog? Is Pluto a dog?
Yeah, that's
like,
what I was about to say next. Like, I think it's fucked up that the cartoon god saw fit to make Goofy into a walking, talking, tax-paying citizen, but Pluto's a fucking dog still. So he's kind of
well, and in the movie Stand By Me, they definitely determine, they're like, well, Goofy gets to drive a car. He can't be a dog if he can drive a car, but he's some other being that can drive a car, as is Mickey, as is Donald.
No, I just wonder.
yeah, I disagree with those fucking kids.
The ones from Stand By Me.
Yeah, man, fuck those kids.
Fucking River Phoenix, Corey Feldman.
Anyway, thank you so much,
Chris.
for joining us. This is a new episode of Food for Worms. I'm Darien.
My name is Sam.
Hello, and today we are joined by the big homie, Sean Daley. Hi, sir.
Big homie.
AKA Slug from Atmosphere, ladies and gentlemen. So-
Wait, why do I get to be called the big homie? Is that an age thing?
You are
No,
the
no,
big homie.
D. That's his intro for. I think that's what you said for Bird too.
Yeah, the
right.
big homie.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
So
not
it is an
necessarily
age
for
thing.
age.
Okay, yeah, okay. That's good. I mean, as long as we're on the same page,
Yeah.
because I'm fucking old, and I get it. And you guys are younger. You're not getting younger, but you are younger.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask, is crabs still a thing?
Crabs, like
Yeah.
the STD.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not hearing as much about it, but I don't know what happened to it if it did go away.
I think people started shaving. Their
When I was
pubes more.
younger, crabs was a thing. Like it was a thing. You
Yeah.
had to watch out for crabs. You know what I mean? Like, and I just am curious because I haven't heard anybody reference crabs for a long time, and I'm just like, man, did they eradicate crabs?
No, I just think people started shaving more, and I think.
Ooh, is that what eradicated it? Is this like they had
Just-
nowhere to live? Now
Genital
it's like
hygiene, yeah.
fucking
Yeah, it had
koalas
nothing
have
to cling
crabs.
to.
All the crabs moved over to the koala bear. That's
No,
why they're always
they're
pissed
all-
off. If you ever see a koala bear, like really look, he's like they're just super angry. They're mad and aggro.
I feel like you've seen like the worst koala bears. I've never had that experience with. the ones
Listen,
that I've
man.
seen.
Okay, listen. You have never seen a cute koala in your head. Koalas are
That is- what?
They're cute in your head. No, in your head they're cute, but in person they're angry and they're gross and they're like they make these guttural sounds. It's like
Okay.
Aren't they
Miss-
pretty fierce though? Like I've heard
yeah,
that.
they're
that
super.
they're-
They're fierce. They're aggro. They're kind of pissed off. When you see one like a little cute guy crawling on like a zookeeper or something,
Yeah.
you don't know. You don't realize there's like 3 koalas behind her with fucking switchblades. Like going, you fucking better treat Pookie right. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah,
from
and like
the other
you
side
know,
of the
and
tracks.
Pookie's just like, hey,
Yeah.
but also they have syphilis.
Yeah,
What?
I've heard that. I've heard that.
The crab,
Why do we
not
let-
the crab, but the koala community. Listen, wow, the koala community is syphilitic. Is that what's the word?
Syphilitic.
Syphilitic?
Syphilitic?
God.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
D knows the
God.
word. That's right.
I get fuck off. Yeah, I do know the word only because
Scrabble.
It's fine.
Scrabble.
Scrabble.
Like
Syphilitic.
Is
yo,
syphilitic
get
talking about a
the
word?
Scrabble app. I'm on there. Fuck with me.
Are you?
And words with friends.
Words with friends?
Yeah, I do that shit too.
I never did that one. I don't know why. Probably because it blew up. You know, if something gets popular, I don't fuck with it. Like TikTok, I'm not going on TikTok. I'm not even gonna go look at TikTok. When people send me TikToks to my texts, I block those people. Like, don't. I don't want nothing to do with that shit, man.
That's fair. I have that same sentiment, only in that like I will look at the videos, but as for like join me on TikTok, like absolutely not. I actually had to backtrack like 14 episodes ago where I started talking about TikTok, talking shit about TikTok, and then I realized I was like, you know what, TikTok is a legitimate thing to.
So is that a new sponsor, D?
No.
Oh, okay.
Look, it's just because we mention a major corporation's name doesn't mean that it is or isn't a sponsor.
Are you on TikTok, D?
No.
Okay.
Listen, I'll be real. TikTok is dope.
Yeah.
But I am not going to continue playing the game of, okay, what's the next social media explosion?
Apparently,
I quit. I'm done. Instagram is it. I'm not. I'm not going any further. And when Instagram is no longer cool, and I'm like the last person there in this like barren fucking wasteland, it's me and Buck Rogers and Twiggy. Then I'm gonna go full. I'm gonna do the full Bill Murray and just be the fuck out of here. I'm gonna get a rotary phone in my house, and that's
you got the 1-800 number.
Does he got one? I'm not getting a 1-800 number. I'm not.
Well, that's how you get a hold of Bill Murray for like films. Is he doesn't. It's like a call-in like center, like different from a voice machine, and you call his 1-800 number, pitch him a movie, and he'll call you back if he enjoys the idea. And that's like he did that back in like the late 80s or something.
You shouldn't have told me this. I'll pitch him a fucking movie every day. I will while I'm taking my dump in the morning, I'll think of one and then I'll call in the pitch and be like, "Yo, so here's my idea, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, you work in a diner, right? Yeah. These people come in and a fight breaks out, right? Yeah. And smoke bombs and this fucking somebody goes unconscious and the malt spills and there's blood in the malt and when you see the blood and the ice cream mix, it makes you think about your horse, your dead horse, the dead horse. The horse no longer exists, right? The horse was there when you were a kid. It wasn't even yours. It belonged to the neighbor, but you used to feed it carrots, and so you always felt some sort of agency towards ownership. You know, you felt like the horse was yours, but it wasn't. But so now every time that you see a horse, you draw a picture, and the fucking pictures blow up on the internet, right? It somebody creates a fan Instagram page for your fucking napkin art. You know, every day I'll fucking
just do it. I love how when you're doing your movie pitches, like Sean Daley from Boston kind of comes out a little bit like the.
Is that who it is? I don't know where he's from. I just know that he can fix small engines. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, "Oh, your toaster's fucked up. Let me see it right here."
Then you have 10 toasters like apart in your front lawn, and you're like, "What parts go with what?"
I don't even know. Which toaster was yours?
Yeah, you're that guy. Like after Instagram goes away, Sean's just like fixing things in his front yard and pitching films to Bill Murray.
There's not much room because I'm definitely parking a car in the front yard too. So there's gonna be a car in the grass. It ain't even state fair, but I got a car in the yard. Let's go.
Yeah, you just keep getting all the fines from the city council being like, or the neighborhood association being like, your lawn is a fucking disgrace.
It's my lawn.
Go fuck yourself, Becky.
I pay my taxes.
And the worst part is like it's not even like a significant fine. It's like a $10 a month fine. So like, fuck it, I'll pay.
Yeah, I'll pay. You're all gonna stare at my Nova.
Sean, I wanted to thank you for an occurrence that happened. The last time I went to an Atmosphere show was, I think, the last time you played at First Avenue, and I was wearing a D4 hoodie, and you were like, "Yo," like I was in the back, chilling backstage, whatever, and you were like, "I like your hoodie, Dillinger 4." You're like, I wasn't able to get one. I like that, and then our good friend Cody. He was like, I have to tell this story, but he was like, what do you think of mine? Do you like mine? And you were like, nah, and then just walked away from him. and I was so like I love seeing the show. No, it was so fly because I
Oh
think
my
you were rocking like your big coat too, and like just came in and you were like, I like your hoodie, and I was like, cool. And then you just shot him down, walked away, and I was like, that was perfect.
Bro, what a douche, man. Like, oh my god.
No, it was perfect timing though. Like it was definitely like in the perfect taste of just like, oh, awesome. Like I think you
Man,
knew that he was
that's-
friends of Darien, so like I don't know. I think it was fair game,
That's not
Yeah.
cool, man.
Listen,
No, it's not cool. You could try to, you know what? In case Cody might happen to hear this, and he probably won't, but maybe tell him, say, hey, just go fast forward to like 13 minutes and 22 seconds or wherever the fuck this is. And Cody, listen, I don't even remember the situation. You have to understand that before I go on stage, my brain is like toothpaste. I'm not able to focus, and I'm prepping myself to like figure out how to be funny and how to give a good time to a whole bunch of people. And so you got caught up in that moment of me prepping, and I basically practiced on you. It was like I was warming up on you, Cody. And so I just want to let you know that your fucking hoodie sucked.
Cody's actually who got both of us into like atmosphere music back in like what, 8th grade, 7th grade. I saw you when I was like 14 years old, and it was all because of Cody. Cody was like cruising us around, playing us probably like God Loves Ugly, Lucy Ford.
Then I feel like I owe Cody like what are those things that you used to make for your parents? Like a little book of like coupons that'd be like, I'll do the
noodle art.
dishes.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
wash your car. I feel like I owe Cody one of those books now, like little chore books. Like, thank you, Cody, for setting me up with these guys. Not just because you turned them on to my music, but also because like me and Darien are like we're like friends and shit.
This is nice.
That's some whole next level shit, Cody. Like I owe you for that. So I'm not gonna wash your car, but I'll fully purchase you a car wash, Cody. Straight the fuck up.
And your
you're
hoodie
listening.
still sucks.
What was this hoodie?
I think it was a Tenacious D hoodie, but I don't even think you looked at it. Like I don't even think the content was like
because I would like a Tenacious D hoodie, like to keep it real. I would probably have been like, "Yo, why did you pull that shit out of?" You know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool. He was at the Palace. He saw their show.
Yeah. Actually, you were there too, right? You went to that?
Yeah, I went to that show. He was wicked because he did 3 in a row, I think, with Tenacious D when they were in town. So he like did the Chicago show. He went and saw him at the Palace, and then I think he got a 3rd one in, and then we came and saw you. And,
I meant to go to that show, and things came up, and I couldn't go. I meant to see one of those gigs at the Palace. And
man, that was fun.
Well, because I bought that record, and because I hadn't listened to like any new stuff from them for quite a while, and then I bought that record, and I was like, I can dig this. I dig it, and I was like way into, I forget, was there first one like a self-titled album back in like 01 or something like that?
Tenacious D came into my life post that first album, and then when the Pick of Destiny came out, then everybody fucking was listening to that at the time. Like when the movie came out too, we all went and saw that a bunch because I worked at the movie theater, so we all went all the fucking time. And now I actually say Tenacious D is one of those bands where it's like, if you play me one of their songs, I could do one of their songs word for fucking word.
Right.
Just like you start, and it's just locked in my head. Jack Black is direct line on my funny bone into a little space in my head. Where
Best thing about that whole movie though is Tim Robbins. He's got like the peg leg, and he's like and he follows him to the urinal, and he's like talking to him about the Pick of Destiny. That's Tim Robbins, dude from fucking Shawshank Redemption. Is like the peak of destiny. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, man?
I appreciate he has such a sense of humor for such like a method actor.
Yeah.
He's fucking
definitely a goofball.
Yeah. Back to Cody a little bit though. Him introducing me to Atmosphere was really dope because. But the way he did it kind of set the fucking it set a tone that I didn't realize would like not necessarily haunt me for a good chunk of my life. But when I worked at Fifth Element, sometimes people that come into the store, sometimes they were just looking to be heard.
Yeah.
on a rap level. So they would just rap at me, and I'm just like, I'm just trying to sell some fucking vinyl, man. Like, or I'm wiping stuff down and start rapping at me. But the way I was introduced to your music was he fucking rapped one of your songs at me, and I was like, what's happening?
Probably Lady with the Tattooed Hands.
Yeah,
'cause
it was a
that's
lot.
the one he always shits his pants over whenever we're at a show, and he'll literally rap it in my face
Yeah.
when we're watching Slug do it on stage, and I'm like, how about we just watch Slug do it
Yeah.
and stop spitting in my face right
Yeah.
now?
When Cody introduced me to Atmosphere, it was kind of late. It was like 2010 or 2011, and it was like it was this one song called "The Best Day," right? He kept playing it over and over, and I'm like, this shit is corny, bro. Like I didn't like it,
Yeah.
and so he stopped playing it, and then I found myself kind of like humming the melody, and I'm like, how did this shit get in my head? So then what I did is I went on to Pandora and started listening to Atmosphere Radio, and that's when I started to hear older Atmosphere stuff, and that shit was fucking tits, bro.
Is that the conversation that you hear like verbatim all the time, or what?
The older shit is tits. The newer shit is like dicks. It's cool. I like Atmosphere now. I'm a fucking fan.
Thanks, Cody.
Word. Well, we're gonna take one quick break. We're gonna edge into the.
We're all edging.
Okay. We'll be right back, everybody. Cool. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, and now we're back. Hi, everybody.
It was a terrible break. I gotta be honest. Like the whole time, I was like kind of uneasy in my tummy. I think it's because I had ice cream. I think I'm reluctant to admit that maybe I should not ever have dairy.
Yeah.
I don't do much dairy, but I still do ice cream.
Yeah, no, it feels like every time I have dairy that I'm betraying myself now as I get older. I'm like, why are you doing this? Why?
Yeah, but it's
Why
always like you're hoping that it doesn't mess you up inside, but then it just does, like every other.
Drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die, and it's not. It's like anger. You just guzzle it up. You want the fucking cheese and whatever.
See, cheese doesn't mess me up. I stopped doing milk because I was like, this is almost like just pouring glue on my cereal. It's tearing up my insides, And then I just got off of all dairy. But I still do cheese. I have no problem with cheese, but ice cream definitely makes me have difficult breaks.
Yeah.
Word.
Good times. Good times for getting older. That's been a fun thing.
Well, Sean, I have a couple questions for you. What?
Great.
What's wrong with my transition?
You transition right into it, buddy.
Okay. But I wanted to ask you, like, it's been a weird year, and like you're usually used to, you're used to like being on the road all the time playing shows. How has it been over the past year? Being at home with the fam 24/7. Has it been great? I mean, I'm assuming more time with the kids, always a pleasure.
That's an interesting assumption.
No,
listen, man, all jokes aside, yes, of course, I loved the amount of time I spent with my kids, but when they started to wiggle a tour in front of us, I jumped at it immediately, like, yes, make this happen. And then once they confirmed it, then I got nervous about the idea of leaving the family, because I'm so used to being around them that I don't know what it's going to be like to spend a few weeks away from them at this point.
Right.
As well as nervous about all the others, the world's on fire, bro. I'm nervous about like leaving my family here in Minnesota while I go and travel, while everything is so unstable, you know what I'm saying? And so it's a lot of neuroses for me. But all in all, I know that this is what I do. It's the only thing I know how to do. And so for 18 months, I will have not done what I know how to do. So to be able to go back and do it, I think that's important. Now, am I going to love it the same way I loved it? I think so. But the truth is, man, I'm like most of us, I'm traumatized.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know how I'm gonna feel when I start unpacking this while I'm, in Texas or something. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's like
Right.
I don't know what to expect. So, you know, for all purposes, I should have the time of my life. It should be great to spend 3 weeks with my great friends, traveling and doing what it is I love to do. But I am more nervous about this than I've been about probably any tour ever.
Right. And I mean, with not being on the road for so long, I mean, that's understandable. How have you been able to, or like, how have you found yourself like expressing yourself with not doing that, on stage or in that regard?
I've been doing a lot of writing,
Yeah.
and that's kind of it. I spent a good portion of the year trying to uh, understand and totally like a game the distance learning situation for two of my school age children.
Hell yeah.
And we got through it. We did the whole year, and it's interesting because at the end of the year, I felt this like moment of like almost like I crossed the line, the victory, the marathon. I made it, and I looked at both of them, and both of them were just so eager to get away from me. Like I was just like, oh, it's a very different situation. But I think in the future, we'll all look back on that and go, that was really special and weird, and it sucked, but it was also beautiful.
Mm.
But it fully distracted me from my it distracted me from my anxiety.
Yeah.
It did a great job of stepping in and keeping me busy. One of the things that I've been saying lately is the hard part about turning 40, and I assume it's also going to be one of the hard parts about turning 50, is being aware of it. And so when I turned 40 and 41 and 45 and 48 and so on and so forth, I've been busy. Distraction is not even the correct word, but just busy. I've made sure that I've kept myself busy and not able to just kind of sit around and stew and wonder if I've accomplished enough and wonder about anything else I could have wondered about. What am I doing with my life? And wondered about like what is existence, whatever, man.
Mm-hmm.
I just keep busy now with the kids, with the writing, with the touring. All of these things have kept me busy enough so that I'd never crossed any of those lines and felt like I hadn't gotten enough accomplished. I haven't had the time to really consider that. So now that we've all spent a whole, 18 months not getting a whole lot accomplished, and I guess I can't speak for everybody because there are some superheroes out there that have accomplished a ton in the last 18 months. But for some of us, we feel like we've got to play catch up now. We feel like we got to, even though I did a ton, man, I did a lot, but I kept myself busy still. I just figured out different ways to busy myself. Basket weaving, not really, but that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking,
I mean,
call me the Wicker Man.
Okay. Oh god, the movie. Sorry.
Nicolas Cage, what an actor. Okay.
Oh my god, yeah. No, I remember. Okay, sorry you said it, so now you fucking set me out. I watched that movie. Why and how? You, a cop from a different jurisdiction, go to this island with no backup. No one knows that you're there in pursuit of some whatever. Sorry.
Listen, man, somebody called his 1-800 line and was like, here's my idea. And it worked, bro. I liked Wicker Man.
I like
you know
it
what?
too. It's just
There's ne'er a Nicolas Cage movie that I have not been able to enjoy. But also, I don't know if you know this about me. Not a lot of people do. I have a very extensive Nicolas Cage DVD collection.
Do you exclusively go for the Nicolas Cage?
Oh, I keep
what?
I keep a one time when I was on my hunt for Nicolas Cage films, a young man who worked behind the counter at a record store / DVD shop was like, yo, I could pull up his whole catalog. I could pull up everything he's ever done and print it off for you and make life easier for you. And I'm like, yeah. And so he sent me out with a small book of all of his titles, and not just the stuff he's acted in, but things he's produced. And I made it a thing, when you tour as much as some of us do, you have to find things to keep you occupied while touring, or you will drink too much, or
Yeah.
you will eat too much, or you will fuck too much, or you will do something too much. You will abuse yourself. And so some people buy records. Some people, collect fucking stamps. Some people go take photos and they're like art tourists. Some people, it's like we all have our things. I buy records. That's what I do. I collect vinyl. But due to a friend, a dude named Blacklick, I fell into this Nicolas Cage wormhole, and now I collect Nicolas Cage movies while on tour. And nobody is fucking with my collection. Like, I've never met anybody that has as many Nicolas Cage films as I have. Listen, man, when this goes live, I'm gonna fucking post this shit up so that, because I challenge somebody out there. Find me somebody. Find me an individual, not a store. In fact, fuck it. I challenge stores. I got a fucking deeper catalog than any fucking store out there has. You know what I'm saying? Like any one store, any one person, nobody's fucking with me. And that's my thing now. I can never have the dopest record collection in the world. There's no such thing. But I have the fucking dopest Nicolas Cage collection in the fucking world. He's in so much shit, bro. Like, you don't even know. Like, and it's like, and I have it. I have all of it. Not all of it. I'm missing a gang of titles, but I still have a ton of shit. You know what? Next time we have a break, maybe I'll run upstairs and grab some shit to come down and just show you, so that you know that I'm not just fucking gassing you up right now.
Do you have any like soundtracks of his movies on vinyl? Like, do you ever like seek that out as well?
You know what? I don't know. I'm willing to bet it's very likely. There's no way that I don't. There's no way that I don't. Like, I'm gonna look it up though at the next break too. I'm gonna fucking go on, because I have all my shit in Discogs. I'm gonna go look it up in Discogs and see if I have anything with Nicolas Cage.
I do the same thing, because otherwise I forget. That's how I double up on everything before I was on Discogs, because like you go buy shit and you're like, oh, I like this. This is in great condition.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I already had to, and then like it's nice because then I can either give that to family or friends or sell it at a sale or bring it into a shop and let someone else get it. But it's
bro, I've been buying too many records since about forever. But on tour specifically, I've been buying too many records since about 2002. And I did not enter all my shit into Discogs until 2017. And when it was time for me to enter all my shit into Discogs, the amount, like right now, I'm staring at, I'm surrounded by vinyl. You guys can't see it, but
we help move it. We remember.
All right, so it's it's like the amount of triples, quadruples, sextuples, whatever of things that I have. It's stupid. Now that'll never happen again, because now I logged everything in, and now whenever I buy new stuff, I log it in almost immediately, because I just don't ever want to end up buying another Dana Dane Delancey Street 12-inch ever again for as long as I live. Like I don't think I have this.
Are you? But do you like collect different versions of the same album though? Because like
depends on the album. Yeah, it depends on the album. If it's really special, sure, man. Wait. Is that the South Korean version? Those are like a quarter inch smaller, right? I want that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, of course. Yeah. If it's a Prince album, for example, I get every version of Controversy that was ever made. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
Certain shit like that. But a lot of stuff I don't care, because it's like, well, yeah, I mean, every territory printed a copy of the Lyricist Lounge album that was on Raucous. I don't need more than one copy of that you know what I mean, under any circumstance.
But your favorites you gotta have. Yeah
your favorites, and you don't gotta have it. It's just some dumb shit, man. It's like I said, we all are, well, not all of us, but us hoarders.
Yes.
We collect it and we keep it and we got it and we get it, and so you got to be careful though, because that shit will haunt you.
Well, and it's having specific collections though too. Like knowing what you're into is very important, because for a long time I'm a big thrift guy, I'm a big antique store guy and record store guy. So it's like anything cool I would just buy for a long time, and then now I'm a lot more picky. Like, hey, is it a cool record? Is it something I know I'm going to actually enjoy, as opposed to just like looking at on a fucking shelf? Because I have a lot of shit to begin with. But I've definitely narrowed it down a little bit.
After witnessing both of your collections, I make a point to not buy vinyl. If I do, it is really specific
Well, mine's nothing compared to Sean's, but
yeah, you used to have a lot. And
Okay.
Mine's nothing. Mine's nothing compared to Anthony's.
Oh, I know.
that's what Darien told me, and I
Yeah.
was like, shit. Because I packed up your U-Haul. I don't know if you remember that, but I was the dude in the back of there like sweating bullets. But I'm just so anal about this shit. I'm like, don't stack that on this one. Don't do this. And I was just like, you're like, thank you. And like, is this in? And you asked me at one point, you're like, is this in alphabetical still? And I was like, fuck no. Like.
Just checking.
No, exactly. But we're like 25. We're like 25 boxes in, and how we do it? And it's all over the place.
we can confirm that none of it is wet while it is raining outside.
And nothing got stacked. Nothing got stacked. I was I was on top of that shit.
Yeah, no, my rule for vinyl is like if like it's more for moving it. It's like I only want enough for like 3 trips.
Mm-hmm.
Like 3 trips maximum, and I'm always like on the 2nd or 3rd floor wherever it is I'm living. So I'm always really much like.
Eventually, I don't know what to do. Eventually, I'm probably going to. I've got to wean it down at some point. And so I was thinking maybe I would like sell it off as a full collection, because I'll never get back what I actually spent monetarily or just in the resource of time that I spent collecting all of this. But
and emotionally, like I mean,
emotionally,
it's a large chunk of you in that collection too.
But you'll never be able to take those parts away. I will always have the experience of finding these things. So even if the actual physical record gets pawned off at some point, that the hunt and the find and the treasure of it was a big part of it, because I could literally start right now listening to every record I own from front to back, and I probably couldn't finish my collection before I died at this point. And so why do I have it at this point? You know what I mean? And so that's where now that I'm here and I'm watching the difference, do I keep going and turn into one of those totally batshit motherfuckers, or do I find somebody who will just be like, okay, look, I know that your collection is likely worth this much. I'll give you a fraction of that. And I go, you know what? I'll take that fraction, because I'm not selling the experience. I'm not selling the hunt. I'm not selling what I put into it. I can't sell that. I got that forever. That's mine.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm just selling the actual physical stuff, that the fucking the side effects of collecting records, which is all this fucking vinyl. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just a side effect. The record collecting is more of the time spent. It's more about the getting in the car and you leave sound check and you're like, yo, Uber, take me to this record store that's 35 fucking minutes away so I can go spend 15 minutes looking through their soundtracks and take an Uber back 35 minutes to get here in time to fucking walk the line before doors of the show. I found 3 records in that 15 minutes. Okay, yeah, I totally need this fucking Pink Run the Jewels 3,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, but I got it. It's mine now.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that was what it is. And those are the experiences. And not only, like I said, when you tour a lot, you have to have something to do. Otherwise, you're going to fall into doing all the wrong shit. So, buying records in a way, it's like drinking. It's like, I fall down. I don't remember yesterday afternoon at the record store. It's like drinking, man. And it's just as much fun. And I'm doing it with my friends, and so it's how I spend tour time specifically. Except now I also got this Nicolas Cage.
I can. One of the times that you, where I knew that you were serious about this, like I knew that it was a hobby. And that's as far as I knew, but how you went and got to these places, I was like, I don't know how he has the time to do it. Until one day I pulled up in the van, and I was helping loading something out of the truck for a few minutes, and you walked up. You're like, I need to go to this record store that's like 20 minutes away. And I was like, okay, what the fuck? Okay, well, I'm doing something, so can't take you. Sorry, buddy. You're like, I'll drive. And I was like, what? You're like, I'll drive. It'll be okay. It's just
I borrowed your van. That's right. Oh, yeah, that was in Texas. That was in Texas, bro. I remember that. Wait, I think that was Texas. I can't remember. Maybe it was Arizona. I can't remember.
I think it was in Florida. It was in Fort, whatever it's called. Not Fort.
I don't know.
But it was. I know it was in a Florida place. It was like Peaches or something. There's another spot called Peaches that's in Florida, not the one in New Orleans.
Wow, I love Peaches in New Orleans.
That place
Oh,
is
I
great.
miss that place. You know, that's the other thing of COVID. Really, spending this much time not on the road really made some record stores stand out because I felt myself miss them. Often, man, many record stores, it's like, it doesn't matter. I'll go to any store and maybe I won't find nothing. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll buy a shirt as a souvenir or a sticker. It doesn't matter because it's all about just the time you spend in the hunt. But there's certain stores that like I actually like I'm sentimental about to the point of just like, man, I fucking miss that place. Like I can't wait to play a show in that city again just so I can go to that store. You know?
And that's so beautiful that's like an extra side effect that comes along with what you do for a living is
Totally, yeah.
like your main hobby outside of your art is, you know, collecting other people's art. And like I was telling Darien a couple weeks ago on the show, like it was really weird. I went out for record store day, and that was like my first time in a store besides like a thrift store or something in a very long time.
Would you both say that it's a religious experience for you both?
I don't know what a religious experience really is, but I will say that record stores, performing at shows, and you know, there's a spiritualness to it that I don't that to me I would guess is on the level of, you know, how some people feel about the rituals of their religion. You know what I'm saying? It's like I feel like maybe when you're in your church and you're singing along with everybody else, or you're making noises and you're moving and you're a part of this moment of everybody being on the same page, trying to communicate and feel. That's what I feel about shows, and that's what I feel about buying records. You know what I'm saying? It's like specifically when I go with my friends. When I go by myself, I am a lot more, I get on my selfish shit. When I go by myself, I will specifically purchase things that I know my friends would have purchased.
Right.
Just so I could come back and be like, look at this shit I found. You know what I'm saying? It's like, God, what does that say about me and how I give a fuck about money? I fucking hate money. I'm always giving money away always to everybody. Fucking, I will, and then it's like, as soon as Bill's like, oh, that's fucking awesome, I'll be like, here you go, you can have it. You know what I mean? And it's just, it's a part of it. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's all, and so again, so yeah, even though I'm on my selfish shit, I'm like, I found this and you weren't there. I still end up being like, here you go, Aunt. You should fucking take this and you'll probably do something with it, you know? And those dudes do the same thing for me. If I can't go, or if like sometimes on tour, it's like, oh, it's a press day. You're going to be on the phone for 4 hours doing interviews. We're going to the record store. Fuck off. And so and I take it in stride. I'm like, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? I do my best to schedule press days around cities that I know don't have like the crackinest of stores anyway. I do my best that way, but sometimes it doesn't work, you know. And so they'll come back. I can think of just the last time we were even in Philadelphia. Aunt hands me a couple of things. He's like, oh, you want these? And I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. I didn't even know I wanted them. I appreciate you. But it's like, they know what I like so much. They know what I'm looking for, that they'll pick it up if they see it, you know. And that's the other cool thing is we're not all looking for the same stuff. Like the guys that I go out with, we're all digging, but if I see something in the stack that is an Ant thing or a Bill thing, I pull it out and just hand it off to them. Like, you know, here, check this, you know, because everybody's going to go to the listening machine and see what they like, you know what I mean? But if I see something, I'm like, oh, that looks like some shit Bill would like. I'm like, here, put this in your stack, and they do the same thing to me, you know? And so it's like you get more done, or it's like you get a lot more between the three of us. We don't have to keep looking through the same racks. It's like Ant can look through one rack and no, that's a Bill, that's a Sean, you know, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, teamwork.
Yeah, and you just can get more accomplished faster. You know what I'm saying? It's like, especially when you like, oh, we got 15 minutes, fellas. We literally spent $170 in Ubers for the round trip, but we got 15 minutes to buy a $15 record. You know what I mean? It's like fucking dumb. I fucking love it. But I'm telling you what, it still is cheaper than drinking.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's still cheaper than drinking, you know?
Totally.
And I'm not dissing drinking. I appreciate drinking. But when you're drinking on tour and you're fucking kicking it and you're buying drinks for other people and you could go through so much dough. I try not to do any drinking on tour. I try to keep my drinking for when I'm by myself and sad.
Well, and how has that been with not being on tour? Has that like ramped up during the pandemic and like being at home and stuff like that, or is it like
it comes and goes?
Yeah,
it comes and goes. Yep, I definitely will go through a few weeks of like, whoa, man, I've really been hitting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'll
Yeah.
fucking dry out for a couple of weeks, and then it'll come right back. It's like I'll be like, oh, I gotta chill, and I'll chill, but then I'll start like fucking buying salted nut rolls at the hardware store. You know, it's like I'll start going to sugar. You know what I mean? And so it's like no matter what, I'm not gonna lose this 15 pounds. So it's either I'm gonna enjoy my drinking or I'm gonna enjoy a fucking box of donuts. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
and I'm the same way. Like I quit drinking, but my sugar has just went way skyrocketed because I got a major sweet tooth.
Well, that's your body saying, well, maybe you quit drinking, but I am still going to get the sugar that I'm looking for.
Right,
Your
right.
your body's addicted to that, and that's a very common thing. I'm not by any means calling you basic, but that's very common to
You're basic.
that's very common to go to quit drinking and to go to sugar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's way harder for me to even like fathom quitting or like cutting back on sugar. Like quitting drinking was way easier than me trying to cut out sugar.
Dude, when you quit drinking, you can go to bed and be like, fuck it, I'm going to bed. That's the best part about quitting drinking is like you can just be like, you know what, I'm gonna go to bed at 9:30 every fucking night, and then before you know it, it's like I haven't had a drink in 6 months. It's like, well, but you could go to bed at 9:30 and at 9:45 you're sitting there going, man, I think there's chocolate almonds somewhere in the basement. You know, I have kids, and so there's always some dumb sugar somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta find it. And then your wife comes downstairs at like 10:30, like, why are you still up? And you're sitting there with Cocoa Puffs, like,
You're looking at
a fucking ghoul.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, don't look at me. Exactly.
You ask your kid, you holding? Where's the sugar, kid?
like you ate all the s'mores chocolate. I'm like, so what? All you have now, let them eat marshmallows.
Oh my god. So dude, speaking of the sweets with kids, there's a podcast called My Brother and Me that I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
And I went to New Orleans for a vacation a few years ago where they did live shows. Two of the live shows did their show. They did a D&D podcast show, and then there was a political one I went to as well. Looking back, I would do it again. I probably would do just one night instead of doing 3 nights of podcasts and whatever. Anyway, they are an advice show for the modern era, and they ended up picking one of my answers that I sent, one of my questions that I sent in, and I told them, I was like, so I've been dog sitting for Bird and dog and house sitting.
Yeah.
And sometimes it'd be for like a few days at a time, sometimes for a week at a time. But there were some times when they would leave for their trip, and they're like, have like just go through the fridge, whatever, we'll get groceries when they come back. I'm like, tight, I'm relatively broke and I'm staying at your house for a few days, so I'm going. And I would drink all of Ruby's chocolate milks. And I remember asking, like, is that okay? And I remember asking, is that okay? And 3 grown men went in on me in New Orleans. They're just like, no, that is not okay. Why would you do that? It's like, we said help yourself, whatever you want, but we didn't mean the fucking chocolate milk for the kids.
Well, you could
no, they're fucking wrong. Fuck no. Who are these people that told you this? I want to fight them. No. No. The chocolate milks are fully on limit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Nah. It's like help yourself to whatever's in the fridge. Because not only that, but the chocolate milk's gonna spoil. Yeah. Get it. Get
for
to it,
sure.
Man. Get after it. Like, yeah, nah, man. When somebody says help yourself to anything you want, you have to take them up on that.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you don't, then they're kind of like, seriously, dude?
Your face when you said that.
I'm just saying. You have to take them up on that because that's real shit. It's just like, yo, clean out the fucking fridge, eat whatever's in there, because we're gonna come back after a week up north and we're probably gonna throw away all the stuff that's in there anyway. Mm-hmm. You know, start with the stuff that's in Tupperware.
Yeah.
Hit that shit first, and you should probably have that shit done within 24 hours because you don't know how long it's been in there anyway. You know what I mean? So hit the Tupperware first, or the weird little glass dishes with the pop lid things.
Yeah.
And then after that, though, everything else is fully, I don't, expires 2023. I'm eating this shit. I'm fucking going in, especially like if it's got sugar in it. Because
as it pertains to sugar.
That's my jam.
and the booze, and if I fucking find your stash of weed, I'm smoking your weed. I'm saying, like, if you have me house sitting your shit, I'm fucking looking through your sock drawer. I'm trying to find your gun. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going shooting, bro. Like, we're gonna go 30 miles out of the city and shoot at trees, bro. Like,
you come back home and you think, like, my house is fine. I trust this person. You go through your fucking shit. All the bullets are going. Like, what happened?
You can trust me. You said help myself to anything I wanted, man. I didn't know bullets were so expensive during a pandemic. I had no fucking idea. It makes sense, I guess. I just didn't put two and two together.
I just didn't want to drink your chocolate milk.
The dude at the range was like, "Man, you sure you want to shoot them, man?"
Oh my god!
I said that like he only had a few teeth because he did.
Yeah.
He did.
I saw it. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, the last time I went to a range spot, I was actually shopping for a friend's birthday who is like a gun person, but they're a cool gun person in that they collect guns and they do all the stuff that comes with it. They're highly trained, but they don't brag about it. So they're not type of motherfuckers. They have a gun on them, but they got that conceal and carry, and so it's not the first thing you think about when you see them. So I go to the spot, and then the first dude walks up to me. He's got fucking full on, like, he has 2 guns on him and like a whole back row of fucking just ammo. And I was like, why? But he was just like friendly guy. Like, hey man, what are we looking for today? No. I was like, this is a weird interaction, sir. You were clearly armed in every way possible. He had like a fucking little boot knife that was visible.
I have to argue with you, bro. I'm sorry,
What's
man.
the argument?
I love you. The argument is this: you were like, he's a cool gun guy because he doesn't have to brag about it, and I would almost argue that the guy not bragging about it scares me.
I mean, like, yeah, but
because he's like, nobody even realizes that I have a grenade in my sock. You know what I mean? It's just like. Whereas the dude that shows up, like, what you looking for? And he's got 2 sidearms and a machine gun, and he's like talking on his phone like it's a gun. You know what I mean? It's like that guy, at least you can see it and you know what you're getting. You're like, this guy's a fucking gun nut. And that's the other thing too. The thing about gun nuts, like actual fucking gun nuts, is that they actually do know what they're talking about. Yeah. And they actually, you know what I mean? It's like you're just like, fucking Marvel nuts. I will never argue with a fucking Marvel nut over like, so when's the first time Ant-Man took a shit? Oh, it's in number 26. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Gun nuts, I'm not one, but I trust a gun nut more than I trust that person that's like, I don't want anybody to know that I have.
Right.
Well, okay. Well, there's that, and then there's just somebody who just isn't, who's just generally private and doesn't make a big deal about those things. If anything, I think I like, I deal with people that are open with their gun shit and wear the don't tread on me shirts, and then the people that are just kind of like, I collect guns, I know how to use guns, I'm trained and all this other shit, but I'm also, that's not, I guess he doesn't wear like it's a personality, and that's what I appreciate about him, because it's just like,
I want to see a shirt that's got like a baby snake, the don't tread on me snake, but like a baby version. It says, don't read to me.
Okay. Wait. Oh, okay.
But I feel you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I actually do. I only wanted to argue just to be
have an argument.
Yeah,
that's fun. Yeah. Sean, whenever you and I speak on the phone, it's always interesting. But there are times where I realize, like, are we arguing about right now? And I'm like, what are we arguing about? You're like, sorry, I just wanted to argue. I was like, why?
Yeah, man, because it's fun. Like, it tightens me up. It's like it's exercising me so that I can go home and at least like hold my ground with my wife.
Yeah, being devil's advocate always, just to get it out of your system a little bit, always kind of helps, I think.
As long as you know it's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And as long as as long as there's no hurt feelings,
you ain't being a total prick about it.
Yeah,
for sure. Tight. Well, we're gonna take one more little artificial break really quick.
Why is it artificial?
It's just because and we're being really heavy-handed with it.
Okay,
that's fine.
Okay,
everything's cool.
Tight.
We're gonna do one word from our hopeful sponsor. We'll be right back with Sean Daley. Food Performance Podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Sam, you've been to therapy, right?
Yeah, it always helps my brain and my heart to get the weird, sad, scary stuff off my chest.
Yeah, man, the case of the sads comes at you fast, but yeah, without a healthy mind, being truly happy and at peace in this day and age is just hard. It truly is.
Well, and I mean, who wants to go to an office where you have to be by like a real life human?
Absolutely not. No, not in this me body, sir. No, I'm not doing that.
Well, and then like the recycled air, just that you both have to breathe in each other's faces
to validate your parking and talk to Janice outside. No, thank you. To avoid that nightmare fuel, BetterHelp is a customized online therapy that offers video, phone, or live chat sessions with a licensed therapist. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy and can start communicating with the therapist in under 48 hours. That's nice, right?
Yeah,
Super
yeah.
rad.
This
Super rad.
podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Food for Worms listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/foodforworms.
Goddamn right.
That's betterhelp.com/foodforworms.
Ooga chaka. Ooh, what are you doing?
Oh,
So now that I've ruined that break,
Yeah.
no, that was a good break.
What were you doing, Sam?
Oh, I thought
it looked like you wanted him to smell your hand.
Yeah, like what the fuck was that?
That is what I
Dude,
saw.
I don't want a chocolate covered pretzel, motherfucker. What are you doing?
chocolate.
Yo, I will take a chocolate covered pretzel right now. Straight the fuck up. That sounds great.
Oh, that does not in the context that he was trying to do. What are you doing? What
Well,
was-
not in the context of Mallrats either. Isn't that from Mallrats?
yes, it is. What okay, don't. What are you doing with your
Oh,
hand?
I was trying to like. I thought you were gonna bring us back from our.
I was trying to. Your hand got really close to my face. It doesn't matter. Sorry.
And now that we're back,
Hi, Sam. Hi,
Oh,
Sean.
Sean, I wanted to ask you another question. So I just have questions popping in my head. But I've been watching a couple of old music videos lately of yours. But the Fortunate video, I just want to give you props for the shout out to the jerk.
wow,
Do
you saw that.
Do people catch on to that?
You're the first fucking person
That
to
makes
ever
me
bring that
fucking proud because I was like mentioning it to Darien because, dude, I have the original one sheet of that movie in my kitchen right now. I got myself that for Christmas one year.
Can confirm.
Yeah, it's legit, but that's one of my all-time favorites. I love Steve Martin, but I just had to give you guys props. But also, why is Ant holding a cake?
because we shot the video on our birthday.
Oh, okay, cool.
His
cool.
birthday is the 6th and mine is the 7th, and we shot the video on the 6th.
Okay.
So it was and also it worked with the Book of Matches thing. So
Oh yeah. Because he grabbed the matches from somebody later, and yeah. I just like that you grab the chair from the guy and then just walk away with his chair, and that's when I was just like, yep, this is gold, and I'm happy that I'm the one person that's made that connection because it's so brilliant that you guys did that.
I've never combed the comments on YouTube to see if anybody else did because that would be weird.
Yeah.
But so I gotta imagine somebody else seen it because we all saw it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when it was Dan Monick who shot that video. He's an old friend of mine.
Mhm.
He's from Minneapolis originally. He was the drummer from Lifter Puller, and now he is a fantastic photographer out in California. And he has made a few videos for us, and that was one of them. And he was like, yo, I want to do this thing at your show because you do this. At the shows, I would walk the line and meet the people in line. I don't know what that's going to be like post-COVID. I don't know if I'll ever do that again, quite honestly, now that I'm scared of people and their germs. But
Mouth breathing.
But back then, I would walk the line, take photos, do pounds. And Dan was like, yo, that thing you do when you walk the line, I would like to make a video out of that. And I'm like, oh, that sounds great. And he's like, except I want to juxtapose it with the jerk and put all these jerk references in it. And immediately Anthony and I were like, yep, let's do that. And so then when he was like, here's what we're going to do, I was like, oh, you mean like that? And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah. It makes sense. I didn't know. In my head, I was like, oh, he's going to have me wear a robe.
Right.
And I was going to, you know what I mean? I was going to be the poster.
You'll wear the weird glasses, whatever the ones are. Yeah. Yeah.
With the bridge. What was it called? It was called why would this slip my mind right now?
I can't think of it
it's
either.
like the Danny Bridge or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, but he was like, yeah, and we'll have everybody give you these things, you know, that were all the things from the scene where he's like, all I need is this ashtray and this chair and then this and, you know
ping
what I mean?
pong paddle.
Yeah.
I'm sure that everybody waiting in line just loved that too, because if they've been to one of your shows, they know that you would walk the line, and then to be able to like interact with you guys and do that, they must have fucking loved it.
It was weird because there were people out there that really did not care that we were working and trying to shoot a video,
Yeah.
and they were on some like, yo, can I get a photo? And it's just like, I'm rapping, bro.
Yeah, we're in the midst of this right
yeah,
now.
we're like so it was a weird thing, but Dan wanted to even capture that and capture any awkwardness that might come with it. You know what I mean? Like and he sped the song up 4 times and that's why the video's in slow motion. He made me rap 4 times as fast. And so I couldn't even keep up with the words. The whole thing was like a mess, but it was a great mess. And that's what I felt like was him capturing, like when he was like, which song? I'm like, Fortunate. What's it about? And I tell him what it's about. And, you know, and Dan is a little bit older than me. So his way of like looking at stuff and even breaking it down is like this older school of art where it's like, what is it? What is it? Is it like, yeah, you're shocking me? Or is it this? Or is it that? You know what I mean? Like, it's a very, I want to say almost like, it's just direct. It's solid. It's strong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to spend a bunch of time explaining it. You know what I mean? And so he is just like, I want this to be fucked up. I'm like, okay, let's go. And he did it. And it was fucked up, but it was fucked up in all the right ways. You know what I mean? It's like, he got his point across. Oftentimes you got to fall back and let a director get their point across. I've learned now to just stay the fuck out of people's way with my ideas, because that's not collaborating. I don't want to control your shit. I need you to get your point across. And Dan taught me that. He always gets his point across. Even with photography, like when he shoots us, it doesn't matter what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know? And I could imagine some artists being like, why is this photographer ordering me around and not even listening to me? It's like, nope, I learned early on. Dan will not listen. He'll order you around, but he gets it in and he gets it done.
Yeah.
And the results are fantastic. You know what I mean? And so it's like now through him, specifically him and Jason Goldwatch, actually, through those 2 dudes, I've learned to shut the fuck up and just let these people fucking do their thing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm sure that makes it fun too for you and Ant to kind of have the unexpected outcome that, like, he told you what it was going to be, kind of, you know, within these parameters, whatever, but then his vision comes out and it's probably even better than you thought.
It definitely is better. And also I should have known that, because even when people listen to my music and go, oh, that one song where you're talking about this, and I'm like, oh, that's not what that song's about. But when I listen to them describe it, it's like, well, your interpretation is way cooler than mine, you know? So let's lean into it. Let's roll with that. And then before you know it, I'm being interviewed and somebody's like, so what is that song about? I'm gonna, oh yeah, yep, that's what it's about this. And I totally will jack somebody else's interpretation because it's tighter. You know what I'm saying? And who cares? Man, do you really want to know why I wrote a song? You think you do, but you don't. You don't want to know why any artists make what they make unless it's validating or agreeing with what you think this art is supposed to be about. And so I don't want to get in the way of that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, if it's just a matter of us arguing or us going, oh, that's interesting. But when it's like somebody who's like, yo, I really love that song, I don't want to accidentally do anything that is going to fucking chip away at what you think it is, because I don't even really love that song.
Right. Well,
my relationship to it is not like that. My relationship to it is like, oh, that's another one I had to do, or another exercise I did, or something I had to get through, or how I got from this song to that. You know, it's just a part of a bigger picture.
Yeah.
But when somebody has really strong love for a song, I see it the same way that I see Prince shit, man. There's Prince songs that I fucking love, that there's no way he could love that shit as much as I loved it.
Right.
Because he's got 1 billion of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He made 1 billion of those songs. And so it's the same thing, you know? So when somebody is like, when I could tell that they're really real with what they're saying, I step back, I let them say it. And sometimes I might even fucking jack little peppered parts of that shit, man, and put it into my shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh, that's tight.
Yeah.
Dog, I've heard so many so many interpretations of God's Bathroom Floor that I don't even know what that fucking song is about anymore.
Well,
I have no idea.
And
I
that's 25
object.
years ago, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I know. Here's my thing. I know the song was written when I became a new parent, and I know that it was coming from a space of like me having to embrace and accept the fact that I don't just get to be like a kid anymore. But I can't, like, when I actually listen to the words of that song, I don't hear that anymore. Like, I know that it came from that space, but I no longer know how. I no longer can hear that. Now, when I hear that song, I hear like fucking addiction, and I hear people trying to, like, you know, I hear a different struggle than what I know that song came from. And so that's, to me, that's just the power of art, and how even me as the creator of a piece of art, I have the agency I have over that art is no stronger than somebody else's agency. It's just a different agency. You know what I'm saying? It's like I can't, I don't know, man. I can't pretend to, like, especially when I know that this song didn't change my life.
right.
But you're telling me it changed your life? Well, then that's your song now. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
It's like,
oh, sorry, D.
Is it kind of like letting the song speak for itself, but in this case it's like 2 or 3 levels removed with time?
For a song like that, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and there's another song called Yesterday, right? That's me dealing with the passing of my father. And that song will obviously never change for me as far as interpretation, but at the same breath, that song did not impact me the way other people have felt impacted by it.
Yeah.
Like, when I was impacted by the moment that made that song, I was impacted by the experiences that created that song.
Yeah.
But other people heard the song before they lost a parent, and then when they lost a parent, they made that song a part of it. It's like, oh, my song was a after the fact thing.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
It's like, it's a different gig, man. Like, and I recognize that, and I would say that I'm not alone, man. That goes for a lot of artists.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who have made the world go round for all of us. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we all have people that were like, yo, that artist changed my life, you know? But I have to also believe that within that, the artists that changed my life have heard so many times that they've changed people's lives that it's not even something that they hear anymore. So if I were to be able to turn to this artist and be like, yo, you changed my life, they're going to be like, yo, thank you, I appreciate it, and show gratitude, but they're not going to be able to really feel what I'm trying to give them in that moment, because they've heard it too many times, or because they have their own version that somebody changed their life. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like, it's a one-way street with that shit, if that makes any sense. And that's always kind of weird. Sorry to go off on tangents here. But
No, it's totally fine. I mean, everybody has different interpretations of your music, of any artist's like music that they're into. Everybody's going to relate to it in a different way. But like Lucy Ford, like 20 years ago, right? I mean, how do are you feeling? Do you interpret those songs in a different way now? Like, you know, 20 years later.
It's funny you bring that one up. I recently had to revisit that album and listen to it. And when I say had to, like, I mean that. I have not heard some of those songs for like 20 years, or since way back in the day, maybe 15, 18, whatever. And it was hard to listen to. It was hard to listen to because of how technically amateurish I sound as a fucking rapper. You know what I'm saying? So I was listening to it and I was just like, oh my God, dude, this dude he's offbeat. He's mispronouncing words. Like, it was just like, holy shit. So what is it that people are vibing off of? Because when I hear it, I'm just like, yeah, if it wasn't my shit, I would have dissed it. I'd be like, why are you playing this shit? You know what I'm saying? This is garbage, trash, because I'm a super opinionated dude when it comes to rap shit. So having that kind of a view in a relationship, it's funny because I could hear all the beats, and the beats all sounded pretty good to me. And some of the songs were good to me, but there were some songs in there where I was like, oh my God, this song did not fucking age well. And what was the question?
like if you still like relate to that in like the sense of like where you were when you were like writing those. I mean, obviously it's 20 years ago, so you're not the same person you were when, but I mean, I guess you kind of already like answered that, but
You know, honestly, I haven't considered it fully. My answer is kind of speaks to that, but in a weird way, I guess. You know, here's the thing: maybe the songs that I do relate to are the ones that were more efficiently performed, more like the ones that where I was more on top of it and really cared about the performance that I was giving in the recording. Like if I was Santa Claus, resonated with me when I listened to these. Of all the songs, that's the one that stood out the most and made me go, man, this song is like better than I remembered it. A song like Between the Lines, though, I was just it was like cringeworthy to me because of how just way off base all of my overdubs and stacking were, and again, I'm speaking about technical stuff.
And that's only
Yeah.
stuff that you're gonna know. And
Nah, dude, there's no way that somebody that listens to enough rap can't listen and go, hey, man, this saxophone player is playing his shit wrong. That's what I'm doing. Like, I was playing my shit wrong on there, but I feel like people gave it a pass because of the words
yeah,
and the beats,
The beats,
but not because of the delivery of the words,
yeah,
but just because of the words.
yeah.
You know, and I'm fine with that. Don't get it twisted. I'm not complaining. Okay, I'm happy that people found something to find inside of that.
Mhm.
But me, as the person who made it, sitting back and listening to it, it was hard to listen to. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And also, it was because I had to. I was being forced to listen to it,
Yeah.
and that also made it hard. I wonder if I had just kind of like stumbled across it and was like, "What is this? Oh, I remember this. Let's hear it." Maybe it might have struck me differently, you know. But
Yeah.
with that in mind, I was listening to it, going, "Hey, is there anything I'd perform off of this that I haven't performed?" Because usually the stuff that I play off of that record is "One with the Tattooed Hands," "Between the Lines," "Guns and Cigarettes." And really, that might be it. Those might be the only 3 songs that have still lasted in our, you know, goofy ass playlist of things that we attempt live,
Mhm.
you know, and we've attempted a ton more of them and they just don't always work. You know what I mean? But like
right.
those 3, and there might be another one that I'm not thinking of right. Like Today,
Yeah.
that one, you know, all of those ones I have a certain sort of love for, but I realized it had nothing to do with the album. It has to do with my live experience and how those songs come off live and how I will work them differently live and change. And they don't even sound the same as the album anymore,
Mhm.
oddly enough. Like we've done things to them that have now they've become these other kind of monsters. You know what I'm saying? And so going back and listening to that, it was almost like, holy shit, this is what Between the Lines sounds like. Yo,
Yeah.
see the policeman, notice the lonely man.
Yeah.
How do you think he keeps his head on straight? Can you feel the feel? Yeah, it's just like, man, it's a mess. It's messy. Again, though, I think when you just break it down again, the beats were phenomenal. Specifically for that era, Anthony was doing stuff that was like that was ahead of its time. The soul samples and things of that nature with the voices, you know, Kanye didn't blow that shit up for another like 5 years later. You know what I'm saying? A couple years later it got huge. But when we were making that 1998, 1999 is when we wrote and recorded most of Lucy Ford. It was not, you know, it wasn't what was happening. Everybody sounded like Mobb Deep and everybody sounded like, you know, they're either doing the dark Mobb Deep stuff or they were trying to be whatever the what was the it was like kind of glamorous style rap still. Even the underground stuff had a fucking shininess to it at the time, you know, and
Right.
Anthony's stuff was like super lo-fi and super soul sample heavy, you know what I'm saying? Like that In Tomorrow be no promise, all that kind of shit.
You nerds.
So the beats were fresh and I think the words stand. Like if you were to put them on a piece of paper, the words are probably okay, maybe, but the rapping is not tight. You know what I'm saying? Like it was really, really loose and maybe that's what people liked. I don't fucking know. Maybe they heard it and thought, "Oh, it sounds like my cousin rapping," and I like it. You know what I mean? Like,
we weren't listening back in 1998 or even like 2001.
No, it's like it was like 2004. So I mean, few years later.
Yeah, but I feel like coming off as a fan, I just remember being like, this doesn't sound clean. This does like, and also like my idea of hip hop was completely skewed back in St. Cloud, Minnesota, circa 2001. So and 3 and 4, and then eventually 7 and shit. But it's like I appreciated it being not clean. I appreciated that it was kind of its own thing. I really couldn't judge it for against other other rap that I'd heard, but I don't know. I think that was my allure
Well, and
to atmosphere back then.
Well, and like you were saying, Sean, about the words, I think that's like the words are what I can relate to. So I don't think I even thought of like whether or not it was rough or if it was
Sure.
like like I think
The
that's the part
technicality of
that hit me deeper than thinking like, oh, the rapping, like I've never even thought of that like until we're speaking of it now. You know what I'm saying?
And then also like and one of the things that we've talked about on this podcast is like kind of like thinking about who we were when we were younger, when we were the 21s, when we were the 17s, the 16s, and like trying to reconcile who we are today with who we were back then and shit. And I think that's you being able to sit down with a Lucy Ford and be able to look at all those things and analyze it for who you are now and be like, the fuck was that? Because I'm telling you now, Sean, I'm telling you now, if I could jump through a portal and at any point between like 23 and 17, I would drop kick myself in the chest. I just would, because I was just like, hey man, what the fuck are you doing? And I don't know. I feel like we can all be critical of.
I mean, I'm glad you hear that, because I feel like a lot of people will hear me kind of go on some of my rants about the older material and be like, "Oh, he's just doing that fucking." This is how artists react when fans only like the older material.
No, man.
And it's like, I'm not trying to like shit on the older material, and I'm super glad it connected with people, but I do have to be critically responsible when I talk about it, especially now that I know the things that I know, and that's not to say that I'm a better artist now by any means, but it would be tragic if I could have made it this far in a long career without having learned what is actually phenomenal and dope and all that kind of stuff, and also be able to see my own stuff through that same lens and be like, okay, that stuff wasn't necessarily phenomenal and dope, but I can still look at other artists and be like, that's phenomenal, that's dope. I know I got dope shit. I've done some pretty good stuff.
Yes.
Lucy Ford is just not my favorite shit.
But that's part of like progressing, right? I mean,
I definitely feel stronger about Overcast. I feel much stronger about Overcast, because I think with Overcast, I was so interested in trying to impress other rappers that I rapped very technical. I was a much more technical rapper on there than I even am today. You know what I'm saying? And so when I hear that, I like that, because I do know how much work that takes. The problem with Lucy Ford is this, period. We went into the studio and made a 4-track album. I feel like if we would have went into the studio and made a studio album, we would have made Lucy Ford sound like it would have been tighter. But instead, it was like we just kind of put these songs together and put it out because people seemed to be interested and care. And we didn't never expect that. We thought Overcast and one and done, now we'll go get jobs.
Right.
People liked Overcast, and so it was like, oh, give us more shit. And I'm like, well, fuck, I got a bunch of 4-track shit, so we started putting out 4-track shit. People liked that, so I was like, fuck, let's go make another album. Well, we didn't just make another album, we made a couple of singles, or EPs if you will, and then compiled them into an album, and they were all 4-track joints that we decided to compile into an album and actually record on a real mic, like this, maybe not as good as this one actually, but on a real mic in a real studio. But we still approached it with this 4-track mind state, because we just didn't think that there was a future. We didn't think that, oh, we should make this as tight as possible because someday we're going to look at it and be like, I wish I would have made it tighter. We didn't ever think that that was a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were just,
well, I mean, when you were making it, it was the dopest shit that you know, like that you were trying to make the coolest thing you possibly could at the time, and that's what you put it out as, right? I mean,
nah, when we put that shit out, okay, we made Forward as a EP on its own, and that had some songs with other friends that I'd made during the recording of the Deep Puddle Dynamics stuff. So Gel had a couple of beats on the Forward EP, and there was that Nothing But Sunshine joint, which actually ended up on an Anticon sampler back in the day. You know, it's like these were songs that were kind of compiled and made as like science projects. Like they were never necessarily going to be part of an album. And then Fat Beats, there was a 12-inch, like a 12-inch distributor, and I forgot what they were called now because I'm old, but they were like, hey man, we'd like to distribute whatever you guys are going to put out next. We thought Overcast was dope, and we're like, oh, should we give them these songs? Yeah, sure. all right, cool, because they were ready to go. So we gave them those songs and we put out the Ford EPs, and fucking people liked that shit. So then Fat Beats was like, hey, give us something. And we are like, okay, let's give them these songs. And so we gave them these 7 songs, and it was called the Loose EP. So these things were just on vinyl. This was before we ever made an album out of any of it. These were just, there's 2 12 inches over here and an EP over here. And then we had about an EP's worth of material that wasn't on any of those EPs. And so we were like, well, Bird helped us hook up a tour. Should we put these songs together on a CD so we could sell it on a tour? Yep, we should. So thus Lucy Ford, the Atmosphere EPs. It's a compilation of sorts. You know what I'm saying? Like it came together not as an album. It wasn't like we focused and sat down and was like, that Headshot 7 shit was more of an album than the Lucy Ford, which actually Headshot 7 came before Lucy Ford. Lucy Ford was technically the 3rd release from Atmosphere. That Headshot 7 was the 2nd one. It's a collection of EPs, and it just excuse me, happened to work together for people. People were like, oh yeah, I like listening to this. But me, that shit's all over the map. Like the Gel songs going into the Ant songs going. I'm like, when I hear it, I'm just like, oh my God. It's overwhelming.
Yeah. Like, who the fuck sequenced this? And it's like, oh, it was me.
It's all over the place. Again, it did what it had to do because we needed something to be able to leave in Bloomington, Indiana. If I go play a show there, I want to leave something behind. I want something to put in people's hands. That's what that was. I got some art from Jake Keeler. His shit was the coolest shit he was the coolest dude. You know what I'm saying? I got that. I booked a tour, put the Atmosphere EPs together. And then after that, it was kind of like, oh, people liked it. People started writing about it. Like Real Magazine started writing about this thing that we kind of threw together to have something to sell on tour.
Yeah.
Or to also kind of like make sure we were putting something in the hands of people who were like, hey, we're pretty interested after hearing Overcast and this and that. It's like Gramophone down in Chicago, different record stores around the country. Like, hey, what's next? What else you got? Give me something. So Sadiq was like, let's do this. Let's put these together. I was like, that's cool with me. And that was kind of how I thought anyway, because the same thing with the Sad Clown shit. I always looked at it like, what can we put together to leave behind after we play a show in your city? Because I wasn't here to be an album maker. If that were the case, I would have tried to get a record deal somewhere. Like we started our own label, which to me just means you make tapes and you try to put those tapes in the hands of whoever came down to the Fuji show tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You stand out front and sell your tapes, but you didn't see it like albums the same way that I saw like the Boot Camp Click album or the De La Soul album. I saw what I was doing more. It was more DIY by necessity, and it was less serious, or it was less professional, and it was less, it didn't have to be what an album had to be. An album had to have fucking skits and fucking hits and all this other shit, and my stuff just had to be like a series of 1-verse songs. It didn't matter, or whatever I was doing at the time. And that's what I hear when we made God Loves Ugly. That's when we made an album. Just like Overcast, when we made Overcast, we went in there with the intention of making this piece. But the Headshot 7 thing was more of just like a collection of random 4-track shit that didn't make it on Overcast. And Lucy Ford was a collection of just kind of all the shit that I'd stayed busy on in the interim, because I went through like me and Spawn fell apart, and I was trying to figure out what the fuck was next, and I was working full time and busting my ass and making songs here and there. But Lucy Ford wasn't like an album. Like it wasn't focused. It was a bunch of songs shoved together. God Loves Ugly, that was an album. That was focused. Seven's Travels was another unfocused album. Like we didn't make that to be an album. Like those were like loose songs that were left over from God Loves Ugly, as well as a couple of other songs that were never supposed to really go anywhere. We had enough of them to be like, this is kind of cool. What do we need? Well, we need something with some fucking aggression. So we went and made Trying to Find a Balance intentionally to add aggression to that project. You know what I'm saying? We went and we made National Disgrace intentionally to like have this moment of kind of like, we made a couple of songs intentionally to round out this project as well. So Seven's Travels is another one that I look at and go, it's an interesting thing that we did that, because it's not something that I would look at and be like, It's a collection. It's more of a collection of material, you know. It's almost like half of our projects are really just that. Like if you look at like the Sad Clown seasonals, like those were collections of songs. They weren't necessarily albums, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Whereas
Right.
Lemons was an album, and that kind of became our thing. So every time we were making an album, we would have songs left over that didn't make the album. Well, we would take those songs if they were good. We'd throw away or vault the ones that were halfway good, and then any that were left over that were kind of good, we would be like, well, let's add them onto something so that people can still have them. So rather than putting out an album every 2 to 3 years like everybody else, we were putting out something every year.
which
Just that
which is so great, you know. And I
some
mean,
of that shit wasn't necessarily album. In hindsight, I feel like if I would have anchored Lucy Ford with The Abusing of the Rib, like if I would have when that song was made, The Abusing of the Rib, when we hit that one, if I would have looked at that and been like, yo, this is the direction that we're going to go with this album, and then we made an album called Lucy Ford, that shit might have been fucking way better. Something that would be way more just like intense and fun to talk about, it would have like a different kind of story. Whereas the story to Lucy Ford is the lack of story. The story to Lucy Ford is the fact that it was just kind of made out of like, dude, even that album was from like 5 different studios. When I think about Lucy Ford, it's like we recorded Between the Lines at Angel Beach. We recorded the gel stuff over at Anomaly's place. Like we recorded some stuff at A440. Like we recorded stuff all over the place, and then when it was time, we just put it all together and gave it to mastering. And it was like, hey, put this together
There you
for
go,
us.
yeah.
It's 14 songs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like even when I think about like the physical part of making that album, it's interesting to look at that and be like, wow, like we did that. we fucking did that, and people gave us $10 for it. Oh, fuck. Like, yo, oh man, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. And thank you, but also mostly sorry. Oh God, I feel that, man. I feel that. Yeah, it's been a fucking pleasure, like, and a privilege to be able to to start as a fan, and then once I got in and just kind of got to know everybody else, and then actually being able to see who all of you are from behind the stage, but then also like getting to know you all, and then getting to hear some of the stories about where some songs come from, not just with you, but with Ali. And I want to say thank you very much for being dope and for being my friend and for
Oh
being
man,
really cool.
you turned out to be a really amazing, outstanding individual, and so yeah, I'll stab somebody for you.
I'd stab somebody for you too.
Hey man,
Yeah, man.
that's
I've been working on getting everybody hatchets.
as long as it's not me, guys, I'm cool
Sam,
being in there somewhere.
Sam, you have been
watch
you
your
almost been
step.
stabbed twice
Watch
tonight.
your step.
Watch your fucking step. Yeah, man. It's been a pleasure, and it's been a pleasure having you on.
Yeah,
on
thank you,
tonight,
man.
Sorry, we just let you talk for 20 minutes, but
Hey, listen,
it was
I
great.
hope this worked out for you guys. You know, I hope you're not like afterwards going, well, that one sucked. Well, that's cool. We'll do another one with somebody else next week. You know, like I hope it works out.
No, man,
I had a lot of
this was
fun.
a thrill. I loved it. Yeah.
I like the sound of my voice, you know. So here I am. Thanks for letting me talk too much, and thanks for having me on. And I like you guys' podcast. I think what you got going on is pretty cool. I hope that you get rich.
Well, thanks, dude.
Thank you. We're doing this for Sam's daughter. Sam's daughter only.
Yeah,
so.
D said that like to start out. He's like, yeah, we're gonna put your kid through college. That's literally all.
That's the only goal.
That's all we care about. So, and I was like, rad, sweet, less out of my pocket, whatever.
So, all right, man.
Yo, put your kid through college with votes, fam. Right? Can't
Oh,
we
yeah,
just
yeah,
vote?
yeah.
Vote for
Oh,
free college? Isn't that how this works? Right? I fucking vote. How does it work?
Yeah.
Okay, we're voting for the wrong shit. They keep asking me to vote for like some guy to be on TV. I don't give a fuck about the guy on TV. Okay, I want to vote for fucking some doctors and some free fucking school.
Yeah.
Okay,
Man.
let's vote.
Like,
All right, you ready to
what-
vote? How do we do this though? Like it's like, okay, I can't just be like, let's vote, guys. It's like
I see you're trying to vote. Me, GOP. I'm gonna take your vote away. I'm gonna say you're lazy for even trying. That's not how that works. So, oh, you piece of fucking shit. God, fucking GOP. Really Turks my fucking tits, man. I can't fucking stand them. Sorry, I'm getting really upset now. What?
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's
Turks my
that's,
tits.
Turks my tits.
Yo, that's deep, bro. Like that's like I'm sorry that you're sad.
No,
I'm sad with you. Okay,
Yeah, no, man.
I'm gonna get my empath on right now.
Let's get our empathy. Our empathy. Everybody, turn on your empathy. Turn it all the way up. All right.
It's up.
All right. Now, everybody, we're all gonna start crying at the same time. Okay, we're gonna do a cry session.
I can try.
All right.
Hold on.
All right. So hold on a second.
We've never done this before. What are we doing?
We try to cry at the same time. Okay, sorry. I'm just really trying to.
It's weird because trying to make myself cry almost feels like I'm trying to make myself fart.
Or like, yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like I'm gonna shit.
Yeah. That's
Same face and everything. Now it's just us staring at
Wait,
you
hold
while
on.
you cry.
Look, I don't know what Darien's looking at, but he's about to actually start crying. He's looking at something.
Thank you for joining us. If you want to submit any questions or topics, head to bit.ly/FFW grab bag for more existential humor. Remember to rate and subscribe to Food for Worms on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. Remember, you could be anywhere, but you choose to be here. We don't know why, and we appreciate you. Always check on your strong friends. Tell your people you love them, and remember that you can't take any of this shit with you, so don't be a fucking dick. Piece of shit GOP motherfuckers. Sean, we love you and we appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me, you guys. I appreciate it. I couldn't think of a better way to spend my night. Wait, are you telling me I gotta leave?
Food for Worms podcast is a Kiss Kiss Gang Gang production.
It is recorded and mixed by Sam Sarver.
Executive producers are Darien Washington and Samuel David Sarver.
I don't know why we're talking like this. Theme music is by Muffins by Dresden, the Flamingo.
Find us wherever you get your podcasts and hit us up at foodforwormspodcast@gmail.com
for submissions and inquiries.
Or stupid questions.
Yeah, we're getting our lunch money back from our school bullies.
What?
What cartoons have your kids made you watch over the year that now that you are like now a huge fan of, or at least like a passive fan of your kids enjoying, that doesn't involve like a weird animal that doesn't say anything or do anything, just points out stuff that's normal?
That's very specific.
It's pretty specific, yeah.
No, it's really specific. No, I'm talking about the show that because every time I come to your house,
anti-specific.
Yeah.
It's anti-specific. It's like everything but this.
Everything but
like Bluey.
Is that it?
Oh, Bluey's the shit.
Bluey is amazing. I think I love that show. I don't know if there's anything else that I love though, as far as what the kids have brought me. I've brought a few to my kids though. Like we fell into a pretty good He-Man wormhole.
Oh wow.
Or like the old school one, or the one they did back in like 2003?
No, the old one. Yeah.
Nice. Do you know that they're actually doing a reboot of that show, but it's a continuation of the show from back in the 70s?
I didn't know that.
Look it up.
It's not from the 70s,
80s
or 80s, or it was like the.
I guess it's all the same to you. I get it. I'm
all
old.
right. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Because you are the big homie. Old ass. No, I'm joking.
It was from early 80s. They made He-Man toys to beat out Star Wars toys, and then the cartoon came from them making He-Man toys.
Word. Well, thank you. But
Filmation.
All right. Well,
Filmation. They did a few things, and that was the one that fucking hit for them. And I didn't think my kids would like it. I thought they'd be like, "Why are you making us watch this trash?" Specifically because there's always like a moral at the end of each episode. At the end of each episode, they go into this like, "That's right. That's why you listen to your parents," you know. And it's like, so I was like, "Oh my god, my kids are totally gonna throw like shit at me, literally," and they didn't. They fucking loved it. And I just, in Malcolm, I think ironically loved the moral of the story, the like weird little after school special moment at the end of each episode. But the other two, actually, I was like, man, this is actually going to make them better people. I'm into this,
Yeah. That was back when cartoon violence was like the most that He-Man could do, instead of like use the sword that activated his powers and use as a fucking weapon of destruction and death.
His sword was like, as a magic wand.
Yeah, it's a magic wand to do things. It would fling stuff, or he would pick up rocks all the time and just fling them at people. And it's like, what's the point? Why are we here?
But because it's teaching you how to throw it in at soccer. That's how
Yeah.
he throws a rock. Throw it in over his head.
From the out of bounds line. Just
Yeah. He-Man was kind of like, oh, throw it down the line.
Yeah, do the He-Man stance. The He-Man stance. What is the fucking? What's the battle cat's name? Was it Cringer?
Cringer.
Cringer.
Yeah. Cringer, He-Man, Tila, Beastman, Man of Arms,
Skeletor.
Skeletor. Yes, of course.
Skeletor, Skunkor. It was always some kind of
Skunkor.
Was that guy?
Manny Faces.
That's manual faces to you, motherfucker.
Oof.
Ooh, dang.
Oh my god. Yeah. I fell into a couple of different cartoons. I ended up doing another run of the Avatar: The Last Airbender. Did your kids watch that one at all?
Not yet, but we're going to.
Oh man, I'm telling you now, like you should just watch it with them, man, because that's one of the best cartoons in the last 20 years. And whenever Margot gets big enough to watch them, like it's one of those shows that inserts all these little things. Like they insert racism and how to better work with folks that are disabled.
Well,
in
this
a
sounds
bunch of different ways, but then also like the different ways that like if you only focus on your one culture, then it gets stagnant. But also accepting other cultures and shit, while also having excellent I keep wanting to say art, but animation
content. Oh,
content,
okay.
animation, but then also just being like fucking visually stunning and the story stunning, and then
That sounds like very much needed.
It is, but it came out like in like 2006 maybe, and then they ran for a bit, but they got like another resurgence once it was on Netflix. And I've seen all these different families discover it slowly, and every time it happens, I just get really giddy because I'm like, because when I see the kids, I'm like, let's talk about let's talk about Avatar. They're like, I'm like, I'm the biggest kid in the room whenever we fucking talk about these things. So yeah, let me know when y'all do that, because I'll be like, oh, y'all want to nerd out about it?
All right. I there's that one, and then there's something else that I need to watch with the kid. Oh, Loki. Yeah. I'm gonna wait though. I want a bunch of episodes up. I don't like to like wait and watch one every week. I'm gonna watch. Me and the kids are gonna like binge the whole thing on a Monday.
I think that you should, because it's been fucking unbearable, man. I'm ready now.
Is it bad?
No, it's unbearable waiting. Sorry, it's really good.
Oh.
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
really
Good. I assumed I haven't seen anybody say anything about it, but I assumed it's probably gonna be pretty great. Like fucking. How you gonna have Matthew McConaughey in this fucking thing? Like,
when it's Owen Wilson.
No, that's Matthew McConaughey.
That's Owen Wilson.
Not to me, man.
Oh,
that's
you?
Matthew. Yeah.
All right, tight. Then Loki's.
They're the same person.
Loki is played by Steve Buscemi. Then old Wet Eyes is
No.
the god of mischief.
Is that Steve Buscemi's nickname? Old Wet Eyes?
Yeah, you've never called him?
I've never heard of anyone.
Hey, you know what I did hear? I heard Steve Buscemi was like a fireman.
Yep. Yeah. He was a firefighter, and he went back and worked.
After
I think
9/11.
at the old spot during 9/11.
After.
Yeah.
But during and after.
Well, during and after, yeah. He was working in the city where he used to work at.
Yeah,
So.
what a phenomenal actor. He's one of those actors, just like
like
for
Tim Robbins,
Tim
who
Robbins
plays Loki.
Is it Tim Robbins? What's the movie when it was Tim Robbins and Martin Lawrence when he's like cross country, he thinks his wife's cheating on him?
Tim Robbins did a movie with Martin Lawrence?
Yeah, they did, and I can't think of the name either.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of Money Talks, but that's Charlie Sheen and Chris Tucker, and I
love Tim Robbins in The Office.
What's this
like,
fucking movie called?
I don't know, man. We're just.
He played Dwight in The Office.
Oh, that's Ryan Wilson.
Rain.
Is it Rain?
It's Rain
How is your
Wilson.
Ryan?
Rainn. That's Rain.
Ryan Wilson is the singer from the Beach Boys.
There you go. That's Brian Wilson.
No, Brian Wilson sings Summer of '69.
Oh, what? Summer
Brian
of '69.
Wilson sings Summer of '69.
Oh,
The Tim Robbins and Martin Lawrence movie is called Nothing to Lose.
oh, that's why we don't.
No, that's Nothing But Trouble with Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, and Shock G.
Giancarlo Esposito's in this too. This is great.
Oh, he was Fresh Hat in Night on Earth.
I don't know who that is. It's in
Fresh Hat.
Don't know. If you keep saying it, I'm not gonna know what it means. You're not gonna imagine. Like, oh yeah, Fresh Hat. I don't know what that is. I'll use
Night on Earth.
Night on Earth.
He's in that movie with he doesn't have a scene with Winona, but Winona Ryder's in that movie as well.
Okay, that movie
Tom
is-
Waits did the soundtrack.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, you two are huge Tom Waits fans.
Yeah, I'm a big I'm a big dude.
Oh my God.
On the Tom Waits front, he's my favorite. So,
Music by
did you
Tom.
see him in the Buster Scruggs? The Coen Brothers thing that they put out on Netflix like 4 or 5 years ago, where he's a old gold miner.
No, I didn't see that. Wait, what's it called?
I think it's Buster Scruggs.
I did not see this. I did not
But-
even know this existed.
But it's a thing that the Coen Brothers did, and it's like I forget how many shorts, but they're like 20-minute shorts, and it's a collection that they put together. And or the Ballad of Buster Scruggs is the name of it.
Oh, it was the Western one.
Well, there's a
A
couple
bunch
of
of-
different
okay,
westerns in it,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's there's a few other actors from other Coen Brother projects,
Mhm.
but Tom Waits is in one, and he's just got long white hair, big white beard, and he's like a prospector looking for gold, and it's beautiful. It's like because I've seen his acting in other movies, but it's like if it was in a full-on film, I'd say it was like Oscar worthy. Like it's pretty
Right.
fantastic.
I remember there was I only saw the end of one of them. It had James Franco in it, and it's when he's about to be spoiler alert, whatever. He's about to be hung, and then he's looking around. There's people on the gallows with them. He just looks out to the guys. He's like, "Oh, this your first time?" And then they all hang, and it was like, and then it's the end. It goes black, and I was like, without any context, that's hilarious for some reason. I don't know why.
Wait, that's from that?
Yeah,
I've seen that as a meme or something.
Yeah.
Like I know. Yeah. Okay.
And I've seen memes of Tom Waits in his scene as well, because it's just him, or no, it's him and one other guy in his whole scene, and it's a lot of him just like hands on doing the whole like prospecting for gold type of thing, and it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
pretty great. Yeah,
All right. See, I got a few things to watch here now.
along with Nick. There's a new Nick Cage movie. It's called Pig.
Yep, Pig looks amazing.
And it looks,
Oh my
it
God.
looks- Okay.
Pig looks fucking amazing. Are you fucking kidding me? This guy's like, yo, I've been living in the woods for like 150 years looking for fucking mushrooms. Oh my God, dude. And now I come back. Who stole my pig?
The fuck is
Who stole my pig?
Where is
Okay,
it?
listen. Pig is about to be one of the best revenge films of the year. Straight the fuck up, bro. Straight up and down. Straight R&B. Straight R&B.
All right.
Sean's sold on anything Nick Cage.
Man, Nick
Just-
Cage is phenomenal. Like my first Nick Cage movie was that I recall being like, oh, that's that one guy. Was Con Air, and I've been smitten ever since.
that is one of
He-
my favorites. Yes,
He can make a bad movie. Just gonna say it. Not gonna add, but
It's never bad because of him.
Fair. No, Ghost Rider was a bad movie, and it wasn't
Not because of him. Not because of him.
All right.
He, you know what he did in Ghost Rider? He did Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Yes, you can't look. If you hire me, you know what you're getting.
right.
Yeah, it wasn't bad because of him. They picked
Mhm.
him.
Have you seen
You better
Raising
be-
Arizona?
It gets brought up more often than I care to admit. Once, yes.
Okay. I'm just saying. And what was the one with the kid? He's like the action or not the action. The
Kick-Ass.
the superhero Kick-Ass. Like
That one was a good movie.
Nicolas
I
Cage
like
was
that.
great in that film.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage is great in Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, as Spider-Man Noir, that's dope. Yeah, he's good. No, he's great. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying sometimes movies are bad, but I agree with you. It isn't always because of Nick
It's
Cage.
never because of him. Hey, listen, Bad Lieutenant 2 was destined to fail.
Mm.
It's good they put Nicolas Cage in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It's like did you see Mandy?
I did, and
I
it
didn't.
is the biggest mind fuck that I've seen in a
Listen,
like a
man,
horror flick
somebody-
in a long time.
Yo, Mandy's amazing. Somebody was like, yo, remember when we were kids and they used to make movies for us to watch on acid? Let's make one of those. And they did. And it's fucking dope. Oh my
Nicolas
God.
Cage is
Dude.
like, sure.
Have you seen it?
No.
It is insane. Like straight
Yo,
up, like he's saying.
Listen, man, I'll tell you right now, there's never, ever been a better chainsaw fight scene committed to film. Ever. There's a chainsaw fight scene in this fucking movie that's just like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Listen, man, no spoilers. Nicolas Cage, it's a revenge film. Nicolas Cage takes revenge on a kind of a cult leader rock star kind of a fucking dude
I've been there.
that kidnaps his girl, right?
Not that part, but yeah.
And in the process of having to fucking go kill this guy, he has to fucking fight these like zombie bikers that are like on like extra drugs, and they're dead. They're the undead. They're zombies. So this movie has zombies, but the zombies are also a bike gang
On drugs.
and on drugs. They sell drugs and they use these fucking insane. There's this insane drug that they're using. I think it's a super hallucinogenic, which also leads to. I think that the role of this film was to create a drug film that you could also watch if you're not on drugs, just like the films that they used to peddle to fucking teenagers back in the Pink Floyd The Wall and then fucking heavy metal and fucking Army of Darkness and these movies where it's like, all right, this is a real film, but there's more going on here than just a fucking movie. They knew they were making a cult classic. That's what they're doing. And that's what Mandy is. And I hope it reaches it. I hope it gets that status because it deserves it. I have not seen a movie like that since I was like fucking 19.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. So I big recommend.
I'm gonna take
Yeah.
both of your
Top-
words for it.
Top 10 revenge films. It's in the top 10. It's not the best, but it's up there. It's in the top 10. As far as like your goal is to go and fuck that guy up. This one is one of those. And it's not because of the fuck up the guy part. It's like everything else that they decided to add to this fucking film. It's like, you've seen The Warriors.
Yeah.
And they got to bop their way back to Coney Island.
Yeah.
That's what Mandy is.
Okay.
Only he's got to bop his way to the end result. And everything that fucking gets on his path on the way there is it's there to destroy us. It's there to kill all of us. It's so good.
Yeah.
All right.
I forgot to go get my Nicolas Cage collection when we were fucking
It's all good.
talking. I'll send you a picture.
Yeah, I believe
I can't wait.
I know, we're gonna send you a life size cutout of Nic Cage now, or do you already
Oh.
have one?
I do. Yeah.
Oh fuck! Up.
It's on my Instagram.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. Tight.
Here, look.
Amazing.
I bet I have a picture of it.
Let me pull it up.
That is amazing.
This is Nicolas Cage standing in front of my fireplace wearing a Nazim and Spencer shirt.
Hey, those kids. Blood
Nice.
Smoke Body. Blood Smoke Body. That's the
Blood
third time.
Smoke Body.
That's the third time that they come up on the pod. The last couple episodes. They are.
My
lovely
friend
kids.
had for some reason someone bought him 2 pillowcases with Nic Cage's face on them, and he just puts them in.
Sounds terrifying.
It's Joe.
Is it fucking
yeah,
Joe?
Joe Olsen.
God
Yeah,
damn
and he stretches them out so Nic Cage's face is like stretched, and he'll just put them on his front door window, so that when you come to the front door, it's just Nic Cage's face
sounds
stretched over the front window.
Sounds awful.
I like this pillow.
That's too much. Wow, I'm vaguely aroused. Nah, God damn it.
It comes in black too.
Oh my god.
Now we
And-
know. Now we know what Sean is like shopping for late at night.
Yeah.
What the fuck
I'll
is
put Nicolas Cage
it?
right there. I hope that you're fucking.
Have you seen the like 20-minute video of him flipping out on YouTube?
No, what happened?
No, it's not him specifically flipping out.
It's all the
it's-
clips from all his movies. of
everything,
how-
everything just him flipping out, and it's fucking
Yeah, man.
amazing.
It's like I'm saying it. That is not easy to do, man. This dude is a fucking Coppola.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna let you have it. He's a phenomenal actor.
I'm just happy Slug showed us a picture of a vibrator with Nic Cage's face on it.
Yeah.
So that made my night.
You know, yeah.
Food for worms.